Hey everyone, thanks for joining. My name is Brentan, and today we're going to move through a short practice to mobilize our hands and our fingers. So when you're ready, we'll just get started in whatever position is comfortable for you to start paying attention to these little guys up here. So let's go ahead and just start with some full-on hand stretches. You take your arms out in front of you, find it like a nice comfortable place for your forearms, your elbows, your shoulders to be in, all of that good stuff. And then we can start stretching the hands, all the fingers away from each other. You might first start with like, okay, can I get my pinky and thumb really far away from each other without them sort of bending back or curling down for right now? Just get them. And then can I get a little bit more space between the webbing of my other fingers as well? And just kind of now get your mind kind of split into like 10 beams of light and beam your attention into all 10 of the fingers and see if you can get them a little bit wider. And then release. And we can do that again. So we can start with just the thumb and the pinky really far away from each other. And we can get all the fingers and release, shake it out. So just kind of see how that's feeling for you here. You can kind of stretch and curl into the hands a little bit. Start some just controlled finger moves here. We can start by curling the thumb in and opening it out. Curling the thumb in, opening it out. And you'll see like, okay, does my pinky finger want to move? My pointer finger want to move? Really get like the full fleshy mound. And now get the thumb in and curl the first finger around it and release. And curl the first finger around it and release. And do that one more time. And now curl the first finger, bring the third finger and release. The third, the middle finger and release. The middle finger and release. This is anxiety provoking, right? Just take some deep breaths. Pull it down, ring finger and release. Ring finger and release. It's all good stuff though. Ring finger and release. The brain's learning. Curl it in, last one. Pinky finger and release. Pinky finger and release. Pinky finger, release. Pinky finger in, they all squeeze. And release, shake it out. So with your hands in front of us, we'll just see if we can do a little bit of coordination, a little bit of finger waving. So we can just kind of, like we were gonna lightly grip onto something in front of us, like, and the fingers will move from this variation. Again, the goal is to just work with the one finger that we're working on and let everything else be still, but it's all coming along for the ride, right? Our brain's used to using our fingers as a group and not individually, and that's what we're learning today. So your pointer finger can start moving in some waves. You could just wave it in one direction, it'll figure it out. And the idea is not perfection, never perfection. I think that will kind of psychologically get us down more than anything. And I think in yoga, a lot of us come from that sort of perfectionist background. So we gotta remove that. It's about observation. Do your fingers waves in the other way. You know, because we come from like, you know, at least I did in the yoga background was like, do you have this pose in your repertoire? And it's like getting these poses, achieving these poses. And that's not what this is. This is about, you know, powerful brain-body connection, moving our body the way it's intended to move. And if I can build up the capacity then to do some of those fancier poses, that's cool, but it's not the point, right? Move on to your next finger. You can do it in both directions. And then let's move on to the next finger. You know, you're at dinner with your family, you're waiting, don't text, do this. It'll make texting feel better. Move on to your next finger. With this little work, don't forget to breathe. Keep your face soft, your jaw soft. It's important to feel safe while we're doing this because if our all of our gains are outputs from the nervous system. Strength gains, mobility gains, flexibility gains, those are outputs from the nervous system, and the nervous system won't give us those outputs unless it feels safe. Thumbs. In both directions. Hopefully you were getting both directions from the other stuff. Right? Okay, shake it out. Okay, coordinated touches. So you can use your eyes for this if you like. You can do one hand at a time, which is always our theme. So the hands go out and they close in. We try to touch all 5 together at the same time and out and in. Alrighty, my friends, let's load our hands a little bit. So I'm going to flip over onto all fours, tabletop position. And we can start with a low load in the hands by sending the hips more back to the heels. And so if you want to pop your booty up onto something or put some couch cushions behind you, however to get comfortable here. But then we'll lay the hands flat on the ground in front of us. All right. From here, we're going to see if we can just tap the pointer finger. We're going to give it about, won't count, but about 20 taps. And then your middle finger. And then your ring. And then your baby. And then Mr. Thumb. And then you decide if you're going to repeat right here for the next few rounds or if you're going to load the hands more by coming more forward. So you take some of the weight out of the heels. Now it's more forward over the hands. Again, pointer finger. Ring finger. Middle finger, sorry. Oops. Ring finger. Pinky. It's funny. Thumbs. It's funny how sometimes your brain is like, do this, and then nothing happens, like literally nothing. That's part of it. Don't get frustrated by that. Learn to expect that. It's part of the process. Okay, can we do it one more time? Can we load it a little bit more, walking them a little bit more forward, leaning the pelvis a little bit forward of the knees, pointer. Middle. Ring. Pinky. Uh-oh, Pinky doesn't want to lift right now. Thumb. Alrighty, thanks for playing. Let's go ahead, release out of that. One more thing that I'd like us to try in a weight-bearing position would be a little bit of a pulling. So strengthening through the whole underside of the palm. You know, yoga is very pushing dominant. Push-ups, plank poses, all our weight-bearing postures are pushing. So anytime we can teach our hands how to pull, the better. You know, I mean, really like hanging would be kind of like a really nice antidote, whether you're just like hanging from a bar, learning how to do your pull-ups, going rock climbing, anything like that. But for the purposes of yoga, let's grab 2 blocks or really like even Tupperware that could bear your weight. That was like, you know, 2 of the same size. And we want the hands to be gripping just somewhat over so that your fingers have a little bit of grip space and grip strength here. We're just going to be in a tabletop position here. I want to see, can I externally rotate my shoulders and pronate my forearms so that when my elbows bend, they bend mostly back, but they could bend out to the sides like a little bit. Okay, but I'm just testing that out. But what I really want to do is keep the arms nice and straight, press the blocks down, and imagine that I'm pulling them back towards my knees. And so you're actually going to feel this through the entire arm, into the chest, maybe into the upper back. This is great, and this is how you start to feel like, okay, everything's really just, it's all to help like the most center part of me. And so what I'm doing with the hands then translates into the wrists, into the forearms, the elbows, up into the shoulders, into the spine. All right, let's go ahead, release out of that. We'll do it again. So what we're training here is isometrics. That's when we're contracting our muscles, but they're not moving. So isometrics, really, really great to build resiliency in that particular arrangement. So I'm going to do it in a different arrangement. I'm going to maybe have my hands a little bit forward, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to press the blocks down, and they need to be caught on the sticky mat. So doing this on the carpet isn't going to work, right? They need to be caught on something. Caught enough that you can push down and sort of draw them back towards your legs and build up a contraction of all the muscles in your hands, in the palms of your hand, your forearms, your upper arms, your upper back, your chest. And release. Great job, my friends. Now, if you're looking for something extra spicy, rewind the video, do it again. And then when you're finished, sometimes it's nice to just sort of give yourself a little massage, right? So if you take, one of your thumbs into that like really fleshy mound of the other thumb, I bet that would feel really good. And you can just kind of start to palpate, move it around. Just kind of let intuition be your guide. Work it all the way around the hand, under the knuckles of all the other fingers. Down the outside of the palm. In the center of the palm. And squeeze out through that forearm as well. I like to use like the lining of my thumb to squeeze it like a tube of toothpaste. And then do it to your other one. So this class is a really great class to practice in conjunction with the wrist class and our elbow class. I think the 3 of those together will hopefully get things to start clicking, will give you the practices needed to really feel competent and confident when you're weight bearing on your arms. Hopefully it should start to make your downward facing dogs feel better. Hopefully it should start to transform your push-ups. Alrighty, my friends. Well, keep massaging if you're massaging. I always recommend taking a couple of minutes, doing a little bit of silent sitting after a practice like this so that our nervous system, the queen of the whole shebang, can have a little moment to digest the process before moving back into the day. And of course, if you'd like to donate to this work, I'd love to see you over on our Patreon. We have exclusive content over there just for our patrons. So if that's something you're interested in, I will leave a link in the description below. Well, that's all for me today, folks. I'll see you right here next week for a brand new class. Bye-bye.